Hi guys, this is the AysheaWho podcast and episode number 4, and today I want to have a chat with you about the recent Irish Pro Invitational 4 that took place on the 21st and 22nd of September in the new Southside Barbell, which is Shane Brody's new place, formerly LPC, was across the road. I just want to first of all say there was some absolute phenomenal lifting across the board from the men and the women, but obviously as the AysheaWho podcast is predominantly to do with female strength sports, I'm really going to be covering the 2 days of lifting that the women did. But first of all, I just really want to say the venue itself was absolutely brilliant. The vibe, the atmosphere, it was electric. I actually came out of there the first day and I said to Maddie, like, I have the hunger to go back powerlifting straight away. It really kicked off a fire in me again for the powerlifting. The previous year I'd been to the Irish Pro, it actually been in the South Court Hotel, and it was such a big room, such a big venue, that the intimacy I think wasn't there, and the atmosphere that was there 2 weeks ago or 2 weekends ago was far better than I feel than it was last year. The quality of lifting, as I said, across the board was absolutely phenomenal. It really was. But as I said, I wanted to go over the female side of the lifting. So day one saw the equipped females and absolutely amazing performances. The biggest battle of the day and the most impressive lifting for me that I saw was from Marianne Kosonen. Marianne weighed in at 55.4 kilos. She already had, I think it's the world record for the highest Glossbrenner, or the highest coefficient anyway. And on that day, she ended up with a 634.43 Glossbrenner for her lifting. Her total was 602.5 kilo total. Her lifts, she ended up with a 240 squat, a 150 bench, and a 212.5 kilo deadlift. If you see Marianne in real life, like, she's tiny. She's 55.4 kilos. Anyone who knows me, who knows my daughter Kira, who's like half the size of me, and Marianne is half the size of me. To see her, it was, imagine putting her into a multiply suit and putting 240 kilos of a squat on her back. She was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and it was amazing to actually see. The second person, and actually Marianne actually took the best lifter with that because of the highest Glossbrenner. The second lifter then, who took the highest total of the day, and again who is probably one of my favourite and one of the most impressive Irish lifters, was our own Joanne Connolly. Joanne came off with a 660 kilo total. She took the prize for the biggest total of the day at 77.3 kilos of body weight. Her finishing totals were 280 kilo squat, a 172.5 bench, and a 207.5 deadlift. Anyone who's been watching Jo over the past couple of years has seen how far she's actually progressing, and she's a phenomenal lifter. She really is. Very, very impressive. Just watching the two women, it was just really, really good. Like I said, I'm never actually gonna go multiply, but sometimes I was looking at it going, I wonder what I can actually do if I went to multiply suit. It's not going to happen because, no, I don't like compression, but watching these girls, hats off to them, it was absolutely fantastic. So that was the first day, that was on the Saturday. And again, there was some impressive lifting across the board from all of the lifters and the other girls who lifted as well. But those were the two who stole the show for me. Day two then saw the Raw Classic, the Raw Wrapped girls. And again, some absolutely phenomenal lifting happened on this day. The battle of the day was Lena O'Sullivan and Naomi Shepherd, and the two of them were basically going head to head for the highest Glossbrenner, and I have not seen that level of excitement or watched that level of competitiveness in powerlifting for a very, very long time. And it used to be more with the guys. You'd see them watching to see what do I need to get to win, where are we, and to see that happening between the two girls, it was such a great battle. It really was. But Lena, she actually won it then. Again, Lena is a favorite lifter of mine. She's so impressive to watch. Her Glossbrenner on the day was 477.09. And she came away with a 197.5 squat, a 105 bench, and a 182.5 deadlift. So coming away at 60.25 body weight. Okay, so 485 total. Absolutely phenomenal to watch. Had Boris Shako in her corner, so that was, you didn't want to be not impressing him, I suppose, when your coach is Boris Shako and he's standing there, no pressure. The person then who took the biggest total of the day, again, is I absolutely adore her. I think she's absolutely fantastic, and that's Deanna Hughes. And I was so delighted for her. She had such a good meet. She's come such a long way as well in the past 12 to 18 months. And to actually see the happiness that she had on her face when she was getting in the numbers, and she said to me, "This is my retirement," and I was like, "Absolutely not. This is probably one of your best performances. You cannot retire." So I'm telling you now, Deanna, you cannot retire. Deanna took the biggest total with a 537.5 total on the day. She also walked away with the heaviest Irish female bench. Her totals were 200 squat, a 122.5 bench, and a 215 deadlift. Again, brilliant to watch, and was just really, really happy for her, because she's such a darling. She really is, Deanna. So the two titles effectively stayed in Ireland, with, say, Lena O'Sullivan taking the highest Glossbrenner, highest coefficient, and Deanna taking the biggest total. There were 5 girls in total who went over 500 plus of a total on the day. Shane had actually put that up in the post, and I didn't actually spot that on the day, so that's phenomenal lifting. That really is, to go over a 500 kilo total, raw reps. The 5 girls was Naomi Shepherd, Susanna Toth, Erin Cartwright, Irina Petrovic, and her own Deanna, who went over the 500 kilo total. So great lifting, great numbers to see coming from the ladies. So that was basically the 2 days, the 2 days of lifting from my perspective of who I thought were the most impressive and who the actual winners were. One thing that actually came out of us being there for the full 2 days, and we were chatting about it, myself and Matty, on the way home, was the actual lack of support from the Irish lifting community. So we go to a lot of these meets, and we're a Galway powerlifting club. We do strongman, we do powerlifting, we have lifters who powerlift. I powerlift, I do both. So we would ordinarily be at a good few of the meets anyway. It was just, I can't talk about any of the other, like the Abs Cup and the Abs Pro and all that was on. I was at this one. I was at the Irish Pro, I was at the last year. Like I said, the atmosphere was great. There was a good few spectators there. But it was actually quite disappointing to see how few Irish lifters were actually there to watch the powerlifting and to support their own lifters who were there as well. Limerick is very, very close to majority of places in Ireland. It's almost like, it's 2 hours from Dublin. It's like an hour from Galway. It's an hour probably from some of the further away parts of Cork. I just find it very strange. I find it very strange how people don't go out of their way to support powerlifters. You see on social media that people give their support to lifters all around the world, and you see, liking events, liking people's videos. But when it actually comes to coming out and watching and supporting, there doesn't seem to be that support there. So I don't know, is it that people feel that they don't want to travel, or is it that people feel that they, is it a federation thing? Is it, I don't know, what is it? It's just very interesting to me. I would have been up at the Abs Pro, but we had a competition here on that day. We actually had the IPL, just to go and see what was happening with the lifters. There was, lifters from all around going up, and there was going to be some great lifting, but we didn't get up to it. We've been to it in the past. We go around, we would go to meets and see what's going on, particularly as we have lifters there who are lifting as well. So it's just interesting to see why people wouldn't go out and see, or come and see, some of the best lifters in the world lifting some phenomenal weights, both male and female. So that was just an interesting one for me. Anyway, that's pretty much it. That was my cap on the Irish Pro Invitational 4. It's, again, the past couple of years I was invited to compete by Shane. I haven't been able to, due to injury or to other competition commitments. So we'll see, can I get there next year for the 5th one, if I'm lucky enough to be invited again. But I guarantee I'll actually be there to see what's going on and to see some phenomenal lifting, particularly as it was so good this year. So that's pretty much it. Hope you liked the podcast. I was also chatting to a girl there who is a member of Ironworks. She's one of Siobhan Hines' girls. Siobhan Hines was also competing on the day and did it really, really well. So big shout out to Siobhan as well. And she was just asking me, she said about she watching the podcast, and it was great to hear, feedback from people who I don't really know. The guys who know me a lot say, oh yeah, the podcast is great, and, keep it up. But that's kind of like your mum telling you you're good. It doesn't really count. So when somebody who you don't know comes up and says, I really enjoy the podcast, it's very natural, and, there's no bullshit. It's good to hear. So there's a few topics that have come up that people have asked me about, and some of the female lifters that have brought to my attention. They said, like, can you talk about it? So I will be doing, hopefully within the next few days, we'll get another podcast up. I was actually sick this week, so I'm a little bit croaky, and that's why this one is delayed. I'd wanted this one out beforehand. But yeah, if there's anything that you would like me to talk about, anything you'd like me to cover, feel free to shoot me a direct message there on either Instagram or Facebook, or even send me a text if you have my number, and we'll give it a shot. There's a few other ladies now I'm hoping to be able to interview over the next few weeks, to bring you a little bit of variety and a little bit of entertainment, and hopefully that'll go well. So thanks a million for listening, and we should talk to you again soon.